So, dun dun dun.
Told you I'll be back.
It looks like, oh my gosh, man, feels so good to be here. And first of all, we're going to apologize for Major League Baseball in advance because we're not doing a preview show for the major leagues. Maybe we'll push that back to next week. We'll bring somebody on for next week and we'll talk about major leagues. You want to do that?
Yeah, we can definitely do that, man. Go Astros.
All right, go White Sox. How about that? I haven't rocked the Braves, because I live in Atlanta, so I gotta say shout out to the Braves. You know, they actually probably played decent last year. So I don't know, man. Where you been at?
Oh man, I've been down and out for the count, man. So I apologize to all the PrizmGawd world out there that's been waiting for us to get back in it and show our pretty little smiles. And Ross, cool, super cool over there. But hey, I tell you this, man, COVID's no joke, man. So shout out to everybody out there that is going through and dealing with COVID. It's no joke. So be careful, watch yourself. If you're gonna get the vaccine, go ahead and get the vaccine, man. But every time I go out, I'm still wearing masks, and even if I had COVID and I can't get it again, I'm still gonna wear masks, man. So protect yourself, protect others.
What's up, Jeff?
And hey, I'm glad to be back, baby.
Yes, sir. I'm so happy to be back as well. I mean, I missed you guys. I miss talking to the show. I know I'd be so tired, man, going from show to show every weekend, and it is a grind. And it's just a blessing, man. But today is a very important day. Like, what day better than to come back today?
Prison release day, baby.
It's time, baby. It's time. It's time. It's Prizm, baby. Let's go. So I'm probably gonna rip this periodically through the show. I'm probably, might show you a couple cards. Maybe I pull through the show as well. So for you guys who have never ripped Prizm basketball, you get a chance to see what it's like firsthand. Last year was like the first year I went hard on Prizm, so it's like kind of like an anniversary of the grind for me because when I got into cards full time, this is what really kind of got me into it. And at the time, boxes were $300 a box, and the wife was like, "What are you doing? You spending $300, $400 a box," and like it was crazy. So now that we are where we are, and like these boxes are $2,000 a box. Yeah. I mean, this is crazy. Like it's like a car. This is a car. Like for some people, right?
That's a mortgage.
I mean, but we're all, and I don't want to. I kind of jumping the gun here, man. You want to just ready to start the show before we kind of go too deep?
Oh man, you know what? I missed that intro, man. I'm ready to hear it.
All right, man. All right, we're gonna start the show. Check this out. Yes, sir. It's your boy PrizmGawd in the building.
Kobe here with you too.
All right, so today we have a special guest in the building. We have RothCards, a young, exciting young man who I met, had the honor of meeting in Florida for the first time a couple years ago. Last year. His grind was tremendous in the beginning. The first time I met him, he sold me a couple little cards. I sold my cousin some cards, and I was thinking to myself, like, I've never seen this kid before, but I recognize, the grind in him, and I thought it was kind of dope. So, which is why I wanted to bring him on the show, because I think that it's important to see for like new people who want to get into the industry on how to get in the industry and actually be productive, which is why I wanted to bring him on the show.
Call it what it is, man. Real, recognize real. Just call it what it is.
Hey, and so this young man, I hate to say I'm getting old, man. I gotta say young man. That's crazy. All right, so this guy is, I'm not gonna say I'm old, so I'm just gonna say this guy is he's dope. You know what I'm saying? I like what he's doing. I like his grind. I respect his hustle. And like you said, game recognized game. So I gotta say kudos to this guy, RothCards. If you don't follow him, please follow him. If you don't follow me, follow me. And if you don't follow Kobe Collector, you better better follow Kobe Collector. But I just think it's pretty dope, man, what's going on. And I like to bring on young guys like this. So Is there anything you want to say?
Oh man, I'm excited to meet him, man. And like you said, man, I don't I've seen him from afar, so I see the grind too. I mean,
Yeah,
even on a trade night, man, the dude was ripping and running. And I'm just like,
yeah.
dang, this guy took 3 shots of espresso shots and maybe some Starbucks or something, man, for the Energizer Bunny that was in him that day.
Man, but that's what it's all about. That's what I mean. People be missing a point. Like they think that people think this is easy, and I always tell people all the time, this is not easy. If this was easy, it would work for everybody. Because I see people who join this industry and they don't do well. But they half-ass in this. I mean, I know I may not curse a lot, but in this case, I feel like I need to because like this is really hard work. I mean, it's a lot of time we put towards it. I get my son for the weekend and I sacrifice that to go to shows to be able to do this full time. And it's
Look,
a give and take. So
we gonna figure out who the real hustlers are in this hobby, man, because
hey,
something just happened, yesterday that's gonna change the game for everybody. So
correct.
if you don't know how to pivot and do a little shimmy, man, I don't know. I'm sorry to say, I don't know what you're gonna do, man, because some bombs dropped yesterday that affects
Yeah.
a lot of people. I mean, I get it, I understand it, man, but
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna affect a lot of people's pockets. It's gonna affect a lot of the way that people look at this hobby moving forward for the next 3 months.
Right.
And we're gonna see what changes come into effect from it.
Okay. Well, look, before we continue to talk about this path, let's bring in this boy RothCards real quick. And everybody get him a shout out, my boy, real quick. What up, RothCards?
Yo, what's up, y'all? Let's get to it today. We ready?
We ready?
We
Okay.
ready? I'm ready to talk sports cards, baby. Let's get it going.
That's what I like to hear, man. That's what I love, the energy. So like Kobe Collector was saying, like let's not talk about what happened yesterday just yet, Kobe Collector. Let's talk about who RothCard is, because I don't know if you okay, we got some problems with Kobe Collector. I think his sound went off. He'll be back very shortly. But let's talk about when I first met you, right?
Right.
And
I remember.
I don't know if it was like the
It was
I don't think it was the
Clearwater.
first. Was that the first time you ever been to a show?
That was like one of my first shows that I went to, where I was there to actually like buy and sell, and I came from Virginia just for the show.
I mean, bro,
so
go ahead.
I think that was like September, October.
Yeah.
So I had gone to a small show in like Virginia Beach, and then I was like, and then somebody I know posted the Florida show, and I was like, man, I'm gonna just go and just see what happens. I mean, because flights were so cheap, you know what I'm saying? I was like, all right, let's just go.
Mm-hmm.
And I flew down, and then I met you.
Hello?
I met Sports Car Plaza, and then it just
Yep,
kind
you're
of
here.
turned into a whole relationship now,
So check this out. Let me ask you a question. What did you do before you did cards?
So I was flipping sneakers full time. So I would buy, on release day, or I just buy used. I was just buying, selling, trading kicks.
Wow. So what made you pivot to the sports card industry?
Honestly, Gary V, like, I watched his videos a lot. He was just, and it wasn't like, oh, Gary V said I'm gonna go do it. It was more like he was just being real with it. Like, yo, if you flip sneakers, like, you can flip sports cards. It's literally the same game, bigger margins. You can obtain more cards. Just like it's hard to make a lot on shoes because you got to get 20 pair of shoes. But you could buy 50 cards tonight on eBay if you really wanted to. But how can I buy 50 pair of shoes tonight? That'd be tough.
Yeah, I know. I came out of the sneaker industry. A lot of people don't necessarily know that my backstory is I was into sneakers before I did. Well, I did cards first, right? Let me be clear. When I was younger, I did cards first, and then and like when I was younger, like growing up, I couldn't afford cards back then. So it was like thinking about cards how they are now is a whole nother world. But I used to see cards that I used to want, and I'm thinking to myself like, that's $5,000. I can't afford that,
right?
So it's like I didn't even try. I think I was intimidated by the prices. So automatically I pivoted to shoes because I felt like shoes were more attainable. Yeah. Because the realities, and I think that's more so what it is we came from that aspect. Yeah, that's true too. So I mean,
easier to obtain and easier to move stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could easily just go to the mall, buy a pair, and then flip them on Craigslist. Like, that was the move.
Okay.
So that's what I did. You go to the mall, or I would buy on Craigslist. I would clean them up. Then I'd resell them on Craigslist. Like that was my hustle. Or I'll go to the flea market, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean that was what I did too as well. I mean, but to me, it was like I said, it was more attainable. I was able to just kind of go to my local mall and go pick up a pair of shoes. You go to House of Hoops back
Right,
then.
right, right.
Back when the Galaxy phones had appeared. That was like probably the biggest shoe that kind of
Yep,
like
yep,
started it all.
yep.
Like I just
100%.
remember that was like the shoe that started off. For you guys who
That
know
was
nothing
wild.
about the sneaker industry, that shoe started it
Started.
all on a major level where
Yeah,
we was like, I want that shoe cost like $3,000 or $4,000.
yeah.
Now, I mean, it's a lot cheaper, but
And you didn't get it. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like a
mm-hmm.
shoe that you didn't get. It wasn't like, oh, you have a chance. Like it was like, no, you're not getting it. But it was like way up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So pivoting from that into the sneaker world, like what type of lessons did you learn going from the sneaker world into the card world?
I just learned the hustle. I mean, that's all. Like just like you were saying in the intro, it's like, it's the grind. It's waking up every day and putting in the work, whether that's trying to buy cars or trying to sell cars or when I was flipping sneakers. I mean, the lesson is one, building relationships, having a brand. The brand wants to be, the brand has to be solid. You know what I'm saying? Like it's about building a brand. Like I don't want to just be a guy who just buys and sells cards. I want to have a brand behind it where it's like, okay, we're putting out content, we're going on live podcasts, where it's actually becoming something that's like actual, a thing instead of just, oh yeah, I buy and sell sports cards. You know what I mean? So,
Mm-hmm.
and I learned that from the sneaker game. I wasn't just buying and selling sneakers. My goal was to build a brand behind the sneakers where if people
Mm-hmm.
needed something, they knew they could come. Like, yo, I'm looking for these shoes. Can you get them for me? Yeah, I got you. So it's kind of like the same. It's literally the same game. So
I can definitely agree with you there. So, your name is good. If your name's bad in the card industry, it's bad. If it's good in the
right,
sneaker industry, like you don't want to be that guy in the sneaker industry known for selling fakes because people be like,
right,
"Oh,
right,
that
right,
guy sells fakes." No, I don't. I
right.
wouldn't. I wouldn't trust. I wouldn't trust everything he sells to you.
Exactly.
So it just kind of it changes the game a little bit. So I
Right.
know it's just very interesting. But to be able to see you, let's fast forward a little bit and let's go back to the card industry and when I met you. The reason why you intrigued me was I was trying to educate my cousin on how to be successful in the card industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for the most part, when you have people in the card industry that are asking, how can I make money? How can I be successful? It's hard to really give a blueprint that's not too much like you don't want to give too much of
Right,
a
right, right,
blueprint like what you're trying to do, right?
right.
Because reality is you find yourself competing with yourself sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the things that I've learned is I can't tell people that I know who I'm buying because the reality is if I tell somebody who I'm buying, now I'm competing with myself. And it's kind of like, you know,
Right.
now it's like when I get new people who are trying to join in, I say, I can't tell you who to buy. I would rather you try to figure out who's going to make you the most amount of money and pick people that you like and go off of it that way. So that's why I said, like seeing you and watching how you move through that show, I was like, that's how you need to move. You see, I was
Right.
able to pick up a card. You see how he was able to like pick up a card and then sell it at the same show. Like he made,
100%.
while he was there. Like, if you mind me asking, how much did you make at that show?
I mean, at that show, I was still learning the game. So I mean, I probably made 500 to 1,000 in profit that show. You know what I
So
mean?
your
Like,
first show.
so my
Well,
yeah, my
did
first
I
show,
say you?
yeah, that was probably one of my first 3 shows in Florida, and I probably made 500 to 1,000. And really, that show made me realize, yo, this game is way more margins in sneakers. I
Of
mean,
course.
I used to go to sneaker con all the time, and I would do the same thing. I'd buy a pair of shoes, and I would just flip them at the show. So it's the same hustle, just like we talked about. So it's just figuring out and learning new things.
Yeah, that's. I mean, what I love about this industry is again, you can. There's so many angles. There's so many things
Right.
you can do.
There's
So
so many.
it's so when people get in this industry and I tell them, I was like, man, just stick with it because you don't know what's going to be your angle that might be successful for you. You
Right.
know, um, So basically, what I would do is, I mean, like you just have to do what works for you. It's kind of like what we always say: stay in your lane, right?
Right.
So when you stay in your lane, you kind of got to go from there. Hold on one second. Let me say something because I know Kobe's having some technical difficulties, you guys. So that's why he has not spoken. So I'm gonna try to get him to reconnect
Maybe
somehow, some way.
headphones. Maybe you
Yeah,
should
let me see. Headphones.
you gonna be
Change
short.
your options. Sorry. All right. So basically, um, because there's so many different ways to make money in this industry, you just kind of have to keep working with it, keep
Right,
trying to figure it out.
You have to try everything
Yep.
until, I mean, because honestly, like I've made more money probably on grading than just on flipping, slabs so far.
Mhm.
Because it's like you get a crazy return on investment if you get a 10 on some cars. You know what I mean? And like,
Mhm.
I mean, one of the biggest cars I sold was probably the '08 Topps Chrome Kobe. Like, I was buying them raw at $300, and then all you need is 110. I mean, now they're $8,000. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
that's a large margin, So
Mhm.
grading higher end cars is really where you can make the most, if you know what to look for.
Exactly. So, I mean, so with that being like your third show, like when did you decide you kind of want to do this full time, or are you still trying to figure that out?
At that point, I was like, I'm just gonna run with it because it like
Okay.
stuff was selling. I was learning as I was going. And I was like, you know what? Like the sneaker game was cool. I enjoyed the sneaker game, but I really liked the card game more. Like it was to the point where it was like bringing out joy in me. You know what I mean? Like it was fun because it's like you meet cool people. I was able to travel. Sneaker shows weren't really happening, so it was like, okay, well these card shows are happening, so let me go to these card shows and let's see kind of what it's about. And I mean, I was already working for myself in general, so like I've never had that mindset of like, oh, I'm gonna go get a job. Like that wasn't even an option. It was like, all right, I'm gonna make the cards work, and let's get it. So
yeah. Are you there, Kobe Collector? I think I hear you. Okay. I'm not sure if Kobe Collector is still with us or not. All right, what's up, Payne? What's up, Ken? What's up, Danny? What's up, Huey? What's up, Jeff? What's up, everybody? Shout out to Roth. SA. That's right. Man got gyms, sick brawn pools. I appreciate that, Ken. All right, so we're meeting RothCards here, and like I said, man, like your inspiration to, I think, the new collectors. I think, in my opinion, you are the new collector.
No, 100%. I mean, I've been in the game since February of 2020, so it's been a year. It's been 13 months, So, I mean, I'm new and I'm still learning as I go. But at the same time, it's like when you learn, you use that knowledge and you get better. I mean, that's the most important thing.
That's how it works, man. I mean, do we get Kobe Collector back? Oh, you can hear us now?
Yeah, man.
Okay. What's up, Payne? So your boy Payne's on. Everybody's messing with the boy Roth. So with him being the new, like he's the new collector, right? So let me ask you, do you have any cards that potentially you would keep, you would hold on to? Did you feel like, or is it like, what's your method right now?
My method right now is flip, and keep flipping. I don't have a personal collection. Now, it doesn't mean I don't care about cards, right? It's not like I'm only in this to make money. Like, no, I enjoy the hobby. But at the same time, it's like, if I hold a card for 3 years, right? And let's say in those 3 years, the card goes up $5,000, okay? It's like, if I sold the card tomorrow, not even 5,000, let's say it goes up 1,000 in 5 years. Like, is that really worth the return that you're getting? Like, what's the reason you're holding it? Are you holding it because you think it's going to go up to 100,000? You know what I'm saying? Like, the reason has to be like logical. It has to be like, otherwise you're only hindering yourself. Because at the end of the day, you succeed in this hobby by having buying power. If you have buying power and you got liquid cash ready to go to a show and spend to flip and make more money, then you're winning. But if you're constantly buying to just tuck stuff away, because it's be worth $1 million in 5 years, I mean, you're hindering yourself from succeeding in the long game, or not even the long game, in the short game. Because it's like, dang, like now you don't have any cash for the show next week.
But that goes back to, that always goes back to knowing your lane. I mean, that's one methodology that you can use in this hobby today to keep flipping, right? There was a time back in 07, right? If you, and $1,000 at that time was a lot of money.
Right.
But if you picked up a Jordan 0304 patch auto for $1,000, today it's worth $100,000. So the logic that you're using right now works today because how quickly you can turn a profit, how quickly your margins can be, go up because of that. But there's iconic cars like the one he just showed you that has the potential to go up over time. Now that LeBron Chalk Talk, right, refractor, Topps Chrome refractor, wasn't but a $200 card when not even that. Even 5 years after it came out, it was a $200 card. Now you PSA 10 that, it's $15,000. right?
Exactly.
So there's certain cards that you can gamble with, but I understand the quick flip. Just don't look back, right? You have to have a short term memory
And
when you're
that's
doing that.
100% of it. Like if you're gonna hold, don't complain if the card doesn't go up to where you want. If you sell it quick, don't complain if the card goes up because you sold it quick. I mean that's the bottom line. Like just don't complain about it. Like go full throttle with your lane and run with it. And that's the bottom line, you know.
And
So.
I respected what you said. I saw your live feed the other day, and you were talking about you haven't lost money until you sell a card, right?
Exactly.
So if you buy a car at X and it goes down, right, you haven't lost money yet because until you sell it, you lose money, right?
Yep.
So you can wait or you can lose money. But
Right.
9 times out of 10 in this hobby, it's all cyclical, so it'll come back around.
Exactly. Or you trade out of it, you know what I'm saying? You trade for something that you think can go up in a quicker amount of time. You know, like maybe you trade for a football right now because in the next 3 months, football is I think going to see a huge jump. You know, so ooh.
Another one.
Another one.
Another one. That DJ Khaled over there.
Another one.
But it's real interesting. I don't know if y'all dived too deep into it because I was having a little bit of difficulties there, man. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens to hobby price, box prices now that PSA is down. It's going to be interesting to see, how much of the hobby is affected by the PSA going down for the next 3 months. Because let's be honest, a lot of people open up boxes to get an instant return, right? And to grade, right? There's a lot of times right now with the prices of the boxes, you can't make your money back by RothCards. Now, Raphael had a hot box and he was able to get pretty close to that $2,000 return on the box that he opened, but that's not realistic, right? So if you go and you spend $2,000 on a box and you can't grade any of the rookies and make back, a half of what your money is, what is that going to do to the hobby? So what is that going to do?
What do you think about BGS then? You think BGS is going to see a large increase in submissions and a rise?
No.
But see, the thing with BGS is they're just as behind as PSA is, right? The only two pricing levels are, the 2-day and the 5-day. They call it something different now. But even those, I mean, it's $175 a card, It's $250 a card. It's $600 to walk it in to get it back in 1 day, right? Or $500, right? So which cards, and then you got to start asking yourself, which cards am I going to submit, that are going to be worth that return to come back, right? Now we're talking about, like for me, the way that I use BGS, right, is if a card is going to potentially do a PSA 9 and then it'll come back as BGS 9.5, it's going to make me a little bit more money, right? So you look at the cards, it has to be worth 175, right? I'm not going to spend 175 on a $100 base card to make $200. I mean, you look at time, you look at potential profit ability that you're going to make off the card, and how much can you sell it raw now and make your money now, as opposed to waiting 2-3 weeks to get it back. So there's a lot of variables that go into it. So yes, you can hop over to BGS, right? But the only 2 levels or 3 levels is walkthrough, 2-day, 5-day. That's the only 2, right? The only 3. And it's 150, it's 250, and it's $500 for those 3 levels. So at that point, does $300 sound okay to do the Super Express through PSA? But are you going to do a LaMelo Ball base card now at $300, right? Now, that card might be $1,000 as a PSA 10, but I've already seen a lot of centering issues. I've already seen a lot of corner issues on this Prism stuff. And so now you're battling to pay $300 for a PSA 9 for a card that's $100. You're going to go backwards, man. I mean, that's the thing about it, man. People gonna lose their ass on doing that $300 swap unless you pull a silver LeBron like he just pulled that as a PSA 10 could be worth $5,000. And then at that point, now you're making $1,700 instead of $200-300. So people are gonna have to look at this hobby a little different for the next 3 months. And even after that, there's 15 million cards behind. PSA is 15 million, right? 15 million cards behind, right? And it takes them 3 months to shell out like 2 or 3 million cards, right? So we're talking about 6 quarters of grading, unless they increase their capacity, increase their locations to even catch up. And then that's the backlog. People are going to be holding on to these Prism cards to send in, and now we're going to have a $5 million card entry once they start opening up these levels again. That's the other thing that they're really not accounting for, man.
Yeah,
Is that
the submission after is gonna be crazy.
yeah? So I mean, there's
But I
a
think they're
lot of
gonna
different.
set rules. I think it's gonna be like no more. Like I think they're gonna say cards that you can't send in anymore. Like
Nah, there's
I don't
not.
think so.
Now there's not going to be that. They can't. They can't because that's their bread and butter. I mean, believe it or not, they
yeah,
make a lot of money off of value and bulk submissions, man.
no, I bet.
Now,
No,
now they don't have any guarantees, and that's where they got smart at is that they got rid of the guarantees. Beckett got rid of the guarantees when they understood that they couldn't fulfill, the cards back in the timeline. HGA, I think that's the new grading
Mhm.
company. Right now, they're saying they can get the stuff back out. But if they got the workload that PSA that's leaving PSA, and they got the $3-4 million, 4 million cards that's not going to be going to PSA in the next 3 months, you think that they're going to be able to keep up with the same time frames?
no,
It's impossible, right?
right.
And they're a
Nope.
new startup. And then you got SGC that promises you cards back in 6 weeks. If they get hit with 5 million, 6 million cards in the next 3-4 months, there's no way that they're going to be able to hit those returns, and so it's going to affect the whole community, man.
Right. No,
So I agree. I'm a breaker, right? I hop into breaks for the sole reason of to pull a hot card, get it graded, and make 3, 4, 5x, right?
right.
There's so much liquid there, man, when you're doing that, where it makes no sense not to do that, right? But now, what's going to happen when you go to shows and you're looking for those raw cards that you can't grade for the next 3 months,
Mm.
right? When you're going through those dollar boxes, those $2 boxes, those $10 boxes, and you're trying to pull out gems out of those boxes, what's going to happen now with that inventory that you couldn't move, right? I
Hmm.
mean, it's going to affect more things than one. I mean, of course, your bigger cards, they're worth the bigger submissions. They're worth sending in and getting back a little quicker. But come on now, we're talking about a Lamelo base card, a Prism base card.
Right.
Are you going to spend $200 through Beckett to get it back in a reasonable amount of time, or are you going to spend $300 on a Lamelo ball to get it back in a reasonable amount of time? What do y'all think about that?
I'm going to grade. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I mean I was just gonna say I think depends on what it's going for. But but that actually brought up a question that I was gonna ask. So let's say Lamelo base is hitting 1,000, is that
Yeah.
gonna cause a rise in the last two rookie classes? Because if people are gonna pay 1,000 for a Lamelo, they're gonna be like, well, I can get a Zion for only 6. You know what I mean? So is it gonna cause a rise in Zion prices? Because it's like, would you rather
Well,
invest in Zion?
I would say yes because it's already going to happen because Zion's already down like 30%. Well, how
Oh,
much
right.
is he? Yeah, what was he? 850? Was it like 650 now?
Yeah, he's like 650. I mean, almost 550. 550 to 6 now almost.
Yeah,
No,
so if
but
LaMelo Ball PSA
Luka.
10s do $1,000, then that's what's going to happen.
I mean,
But if
Lucas
you-
was at 1,200. I mean, that's only 200 more than Lamelo. You know what I mean? Like,
But if you're going to use that same logic, wouldn't it have happened on the hoops cards already? Look what the hoops cards did. Right?
Hoops cards are still selling for more than last year's class.
That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
your question was, does Zion go up now
I feel like
if a
people don't pay
LaMelo
too much
Ball?
attention to hoops though, in terms of like the main aspect of like looking at.
I
prices,
agree.
you know?
But what I'm saying, if you do compare apples to apples, right?
Right.
You look at what a LaMelo Ball out of 25 did, right?
Oh, I know.
I think-
look at
I mean-
his draft pick autos are
I
going
mean-
for 15,000.
So that's what I'm saying. So if you're doing apples to apples, Zion Morant class didn't do
Zion's
that.
cheap.
Yeah, it's real cheap. And look, he's
Right.
balling. Dude has like 35 points in the
Right.
last 6
Super
games in a
undervalued.
row. And they're
Mhm.
gonna make the playoffs.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the thing about. But see, it's the price to get into the game. The price of admission is taking the game up, right? The price to pull one of those things, and Raphael talks about it all the time. The cost of a box drives the cost of a card,
What up?
right?
Yeah.
If the best card that you can pull out of there is a Lamelo Ball silver or something, right, out of a box or a blaster, right?
Yeah.
How much does it cost you to buy that box, right? And would you rather buy that single or would you rather buy that box? And so that drives the cost of the box. And he tells me all the time, would you rather have a 101 Cam Reddish out of flawless, right? I think or immaculate that he had, right?
It
And how
was
much?
mosaic, the snakeskin
So
101.
so would you rather have that, or would you go rather open up a box of cards and you don't know what you're gonna get,
Right.
right? So and that drives the prices of the cards up. So I mean, like I said, man, this hobby's about to change. It's gonna be really interesting to see how people pivot and what directions they start going, because we all know PSA brings the most money on cards, whether it's a
Mhm.
PSA 9 or a PSA 10, right? Somewhere along the line, BGS 9.5 stopped being that sexy, man, because honestly, PSA 9 started catching up to BGS 9.5, man. I'm not even gonna lie. On some
And
cards,
and
they
that's my
even
point
pass
of
them up.
when you guys initially said because PSA is down, are you going to spend money on Beckett? And my answer is no. The reality is, I'd still take a chance on PSA 9 or 10, and I'd be happy with that. I think that because the multiplier, in some cases, when you're dealing with like high end stuff, it's almost three times.
All right.
It's literally almost three times. Like we had
Yeah,
this conversation before where the top's finest, and you can check Golden Auctions, the top's finest LeBron James refractor sold for $93,000. A 9.5 sold for 32.
yeah.
You can buy
Even
three BGS 9.5s for the same price of a PSA 10. That's
yeah.
crazy.
But
At
look
some
at
point in time, we have to change that. I think we still have to change that narrative,
yeah,
but until that changes, you know what I'm saying? I just think that it's crazy that like I just think we have to change that narrative at some point in time. I don't know if I
Does
don't know
it?
who changes it. The powers that be.
Well, does this PSA thing change it?
yeah.
Over the
Well,
next 3 months. Like
look
what
at
we
what a
got to see what
PSA
that.
ten.
Thank you, Alpha J Bo. Appreciate you.
Yeah, look at what a PSA 10 LeBron James Topps Chrome rookie refractor goes for. I think the last one did 300K, right?
Yeah,
You can go pick up a Min Gem 9.5 for 80K right now, right? So why is there that big of a jump? And I guarantee you, if you submitted that Min Gem 9.5 to PSA, if you crack it out and submit it, it's gonna come back a PSA 10, right?
yeah,
It's gonna cost you $10,000 to grade it.
It's worth it.
So, but hey, if they can guarantee you a PSA 10, and see, that's where the game changed, man. I mean, I'm telling you, PSA is doing something, and when they come back, I guarantee you they double their prices again, right? And and they're going to hopefully it's a more streamlined process though when they come back, man, because it's gonna be hard. When we went from $10 to $20 to submit a $5 card, I mean that really hindered a lot. It stopped. It put the brakes on a lot of people from submitting that bullshit, right?
yeah.
Right.
But when I looked at it too, it's $25 to make 100, right? If you came in today and I told you if you waited 6 months to turn $25 into $100, would you do it?
No,
You wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do it.
What? But what if you
It's
had a
too long.
hundred? But what if
It's
you had
too
a hundred
hard.
cards? What if you
Is
had
it
a
too
hundred
long of
cards?
it's too long of an investment?
Too long of an investment, not enough return. In my
Uh,
view.
I mean, I
I
mean
did
that
that last year. I
that's
did it
three hundred
last year.
percent.
It was
It's
automatic though, but it's like, all right. So with 100 cards, so that'll be what 20. That'll be
$2,500.
$2,500 to 10 grand.
It's a savings account. You got it on the
Yeah.
back end.
It's 300.
I
It's
mean,
three hundred
yeah.
percent though. It's three
I mean,
hundred percent,
yeah,
right? But that's one of those set it aside, forget about it, right?
right.
When you submit stuff like that, it's not a quick return,
Oh no,
right?
no.
That's
I mean, I
that's
got a bunch of
another.
low end stuff right now that I've sent months ago that I just
Yeah.
forgot about.
See, but that's a machine, right? Once you get that
Right,
wheel going, that's a machine. I call it the machine because you know what? Once you get it back, then they start spitting them out. If
right.
you
Oh,
submit them
exactly.
quick
Every week
enough.
getting a good submission back.
Still waiting on my
Obviously,
machine.
there's
Me
some
too.
10 days, some 5 days, some 2 days that you want your money back, and
Right,
you
right.
spend
Yeah,
that money to make a quick $1,000, and
Yeah,
you're in and out, right?
yeah, exactly.
Obviously, there's those scenarios, but that's what PSA did for everybody though. When you were looking at a $5 card, and it could become a $100 card as a PSA 10, right? You were spending $12 to get that thing graded, right? So you're in the card for $17, right?
hmm
$17 to make $100, that's $80, $83 return, right? It was crazy. People, I mean, literally, people got rich off
Yeah,
of PSA, right? And it was only because you had a PSA 10. And then they got really strict, right? They got to the point where they weren't giving out any PSA 10s. They were like, we're
right.
not going to let anybody make money off of us unless we're getting a cut. So, I mean, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I'm excited to see that LeBron card. I think it's going to be an iconic card, of the future,
You talking
right?
about this
That
LeBron
card,
card?
yes, that LeBron card right there, man. And the Black Shimmer 101 just got pulled too, man.
Yeah,
Um,
Coleman Cards. Coleman Cards. Shout out to Coleman Cards. He was actually in the show at Burbank when they pulled it, and it looks like he was turning down 100K. The guy was turning down 100K. So
yeah, I mean, this isn't a kind of card, man. Like we talked about it. What was the Black 101 of that's going to do? I said 40, 50, but if the dude's turning down 100K, man, that's a lot of money to walk away from.
That is.
I just hope I can buy the gold. So whoever has the gold, please sell it to me. I reached out to the one guy who had the gold. They haven't responded yet.
So what is it worth then? What is the gold worth
I
if
don't
you
know,
turn
but I
down a
want
hundred
it.
grand?
I want it.
You gonna send that Super Express?
I don't know. I
Yeah.
would. I think I have to. I mean, it's slightly off centered, left to right. I mean, we're right to left a little bit, but I mean,
So what is a nine going to do to that card though? If you send a Super Express for $300, I mean,
I
are you
mean,
just trying to take a shot to see if it gets a 10?
just because, yeah, you figure I haven't seen it. I mean, top to bottom is a little all see. It might be worth actually just selling as is. To be honest with you, you can kind of see it. Top to bottom
Or
is a little.
you get Beckett hot with the new
Yeah.
2021 product. Let's get it.
So that's the thing about it. Like on a card like that, that's slightly off center, that might get a 9, right, on
Right.
centering, but everything else is a 9.5 or better. I would go BGS with that, right? If the
Same.
centering's off. So then now you got that 9.5. It's still going to
Hopefully,
be
I get a
worth.
9. I get a
It-
9
it's-
for centering, and I get everything else 9.5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you're going to get it back quicker because even if you send that Super Express, right, they're taking 3 weeks to get
Oh
it
yeah, they
submitted
are.
into the system. So it's still going to take you over a month to get it back. So, I mean, logically, if it is a little OC and it can come back a 9.5, I think I'd actually go that route rather than the PSA 9 route because, I mean, that's just my opinion.
And
Yeah.
you got those people who buy BGS. Like there's some
Yeah.
people out there who don't even buy PSA. They only buy BGS 9.5. You know what I'm saying? Like
They want to see the subs. The subs are
yeah,
nice.
exactly. I mean, it's
Yeah,
all
we
part
want
of
to see the
game.
subs. Yeah, that's dope. All right, so what was the other topic we were going to talk about today? Because I know we talked about.
LeBron and Kobe prices
Oh yeah, LeBron and Kobe prices. Wow.
30-40% right now.
So I want to say something. I'm gonna say timeout real quick. I'm gonna say because I didn't get to say welcome to the show, Roth. And I was also gonna tell you, man, I appreciate your hustle, man. You were like the Energizer Bunny, man. I don't know what the hell you were on at that Dallas show during that trade night, but I saw you zoom from one side of the room to the other side of the room,
Yep.
make one deal over there, then run to the other side, make another deal, man. I don't know if I've seen that ever, right? And I don't know what the hell you were on at 2 o'clock in the morning. You must have been
Man.
like an
Off the
IV
coffee.
of espresso in there.
Yep.
But I want to say, man, I appreciate the hustle, man. Honestly, I saw you ripping and running around the whole Dallas show. I saw you ripping and running in the trade nights, man. I appreciate the hustle that you
Thank
have,
you.
man. I just want to give you kudos for that because I wasn't able to do it prior. But I do want to say, man, I appreciate the grind that you have, man.
Yes,
And like
sir.
I said, that's the one thing that kind of stood out. You came
Right.
over to Rod. You came over to Rod, and you go, "Hey, Rod, what do you want for this card? 8K." You want to do like you were actually doing deals, like negotiating them
Right.
down before you got. You think you
Right.
take 75? He said 75. Would you take 75?
Yep. Yep.
And then you
Oh,
went back,
exactly.
and I think you even got more for the card for him than he originally requested, man. So
Right.
kudos to you for that, man. I
Heck
think
yeah.
you helped him get some pretty big cards there at the show because of it, man. So I know he appreciates it, man. But I just want to say I appreciate the hustle there, man. And
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. Shout out to Breaking Bangers. Breaking Bangers is on here. This is
What's
the
up,
place.
Breaking Bangers?
Yeah, they break as well as their local show in Georgia. They're in Cartersville, Georgia. I actually was with them earlier. That's why I broke my box with earlier when I pulled the Wiseman auto.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I got this. We're talking about LeBron prices and Kobe prices. LeBron, Kobe. So what's going to happen with these guys? You want to talk about what's going on with LeBron first?
I'm gonna let Ross. Ross is real passionate about this, man. I'm gonna let him go. We're gonna segue off of him, man.
I mean, I think that card ladder is something that I try to use every day. You know, I'm in the hobby use it. And it's like, I was talking about this on my vlog that's coming out this week. Our human nature as humans is to not buy dips. right? Like we don't like buying things as they're trending down because it's scary for us. It's like, oh my gosh, like what if it keeps going down? Like when do you really buy it? We like buying things as they trend up. But when you buy as on a trend up, then you're not really you're not giving yourself a good upside, right? So it's like when you can look at the Kobe tops 10 and even the LeBron tops 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the Kobe tops 10 was trending $9,000 to $10,000 solid, 3 months ago. It was just like 10,000, like that was his price. And now, it got all the way down to 5,000. And it's like, all right, like I don't think it's not gonna go lower than that. I mean, it's already trending up now. It's already at like 6 to 7. There's one ending tonight that was already at like 7,000 with a couple hours left. So I think it's already on its way back up. But it's like in these type of trends, they happen and people panic every time they happen. Like, oh my gosh, LeBron's dropping. Like the same thing happened over the summer. You know what I'm saying? Kobe's dropping. The same thing happened. Like it's literally a trend. So once we can like reverse our psychology of like, yo, all right, it's falling. Let's go find some good stuff to buy. It's the same in the stock market. When stocks drop, that's buy day. When you're in the red, you go out and you buy. When you're in the green, you sell. So it's like I think both Kobe and one thing I noticed is as LeBron drops, Kobe drops. As LeBron goes up, Kobe goes up. Kobe kind of follows Kobe cards follow LeBron cards, and just from what I've noticed, you know what I'm saying. So it's just like,
So who follows Kobe cards? Just a quick quiz right there.
Honestly, I think like a lot of vintage. I think I think the Vince Carters, the Tim Duncans. I mean, I think as Kobe goes up, the vintage goes up.
The one that's really tied to Kobe is Allen Iverson, man.
That was my third name. I was about to say Allen Iverson. And it's because like they're both in the '96 set, and it's just like when you think of Kobe and his rookie year, you think of Allen Iverson. I mean, so it's like, but it's like as they drop, it's not a time to like, oh my gosh, like you don't
panic.
You gotta just you find the moves, and one thing that I've really learned is like you trade as your card goes up, and you see a card go down, you trade for that card, right? Because you're gonna get the top dollar for the card that's up, and you're gonna get the bottom dollar for the card that's down. So then it's a good way to just swap out, and then you make money on the back end. So that's one thing that I've been doing. I've been buying a bunch of Kobe tops 10s. So I'm just gonna enjoy the ride up. So,
but see, I haven't been buying rookies, man. I've been buying a lot of Prism, right? So these are all
heck yeah.
These are all first year, second year, third year Prism that I'm picking up of him, and I actually put in probably together the whole Prism set. For the first year Prism set.
Heck yeah.
Because I tell you this, as the LaMelo Ball draft class Prism goes up to $2,000, right? The first year Prism can only go up, right? And I know it took a hike up, and I know it's starting to trend down a little bit, but it's starting to come back up again, right? You see the Kobe back up over 1,000 for the base card PSA 10.
Yep.
You see the LeBron over 2,500 for a PSA 10 base card, right? So you see both of those go up. Everything else is going to follow it, right? But when you're talking about a $2,000 box of Prism basketball, when it first released, now we're not talking about once it flips and once people start making money off of it, because that's probably going to be a $3,000-$4,000 box if it keeps up with the trends that it's going with right now. The old stuff has no choice but to go up with it, man. And now with PSA going down for 3 months, you're going to see all them PSA 10s take a hike up too, man.
Oh, yeah.
So they're going to be a premium. So I might even keep some PSA 10s just because of that. We're already going to see a price jump when PSA went up on the prices, right? Now we're going to see an even bigger price jump because there's not going to be any pops for base cards for a while. So
I was going to ask a question. Are they still going to be shipping out stuff that's already like that's already still there?
Yep.
Yeah, I have literally, man. Well, since they shut down, right? I had 26 orders that hadn't been entered into the system, right? Just yesterday, they've entered in 15 orders that were sitting on their desk, right?
wow.
So for me, it's like it's a gift and a curse because it's going to streamline a lot of the stuff that's already in the system, and I think they're really going to be pushing it out. And with the completion through dates that they're putting out to the public to let them know we're complete through these dates on these orders, different levels. I think once they get past these 3 months and they're able to catch up a little bit, you're going to see those dates starting to shrink a lot more than what they're at right now because they're going to be able to efficiently move through this stuff. through people, through more square footage, where they're gonna open up different locations across the countries. It's gonna be interesting to see where they take it to, and I think Nat Turner has a big a say in what's gonna happen with that company moving forward.
Nice.
But
Nice to hear
yeah,
you
with
say that, man.
May's gonna be huge for Kobe, man. So
Oh, yeah.
like you said, as Kobe goes up, LeBron goes up,
Right.
right?
Right.
So he's going to go up next month. He's going to go up after next month. Once they do a documentary, I don't like the last documentary that they did for Kobe. I don't think it did anything for his cards really.
Right.
But the next one that they're going to put together, that a big firm comes through, if Vanessa gives away the rights to do it, the next big firm that comes through that does it like the Last Dance, where you have a 6-part episode or something, is going to be huge.
Right.
I don't know if you guys caught the Stephon Marbury documentary on Netflix. It's actually decent, to learn about that Coney Island boy that came out with Kobe, and I think his prices will start to trend up too, because Stephon Marbury had a lot of game, and he actually has a lot of international love across the
Oh
world.
yeah.
Sure does. Okay.
All right. So I got one more quick question.
Go ahead.
So KD's not playing, right?
Mm-mm.
LeBron's
I don't
not
think he's
playing.
gonna play.
LeBron's not playing either, right? So why is
No.
it that KD's not playing and his prices are trending up? LeBron's not playing and his prices are trending down.
Go
Because
ahead and get a rock.
Brooklyn's the favorite to win.
Hmm.
So, all right. So here's what you guys have to watch in the industry for the people who's listening. Right, I'm gonna give you some game. You ready? It's something that happens when you speculate somebody to win. Right, the prices go up.
Mm-hmm.
So if Vegas says New York is going to win, guess where the market goes? Everybody in New York goes up. If they say the Lakers are going to win, everybody in LA goes up, right? It goes back to what you're kind of what you had said. When everything goes down, you buy. All right, so guess what? If New York doesn't win, what happens to their cards? Exactly. So, is it safe to say that Brooklyn's cards are inflated? Yes.
Oh yeah.
Because right now we're buying, speculating, assuming that they're going to win, versus if you go with the cheaper, like, so right now, honestly, everybody, like, LeBron's going down. Guess what? Buy more.
Right. Oh, 100%.
LeBron is not going anywhere, right?
Right.
Anthony Davis already has his first ring. He's probably going to get another one, right? He'll be here after LeBron, and again, guess what? He'll be the man in LA, right? So buy more. So to me, I think people, like, I'm not saying that I don't like James Harden, not saying I don't like KD, not saying I don't like Kyrie, but the reality is the prices that you see are a reflection of being inflated. It's kind of like Blake Griffin when he was in Detroit. You could have bought a PSA 10 refractor for $200, and now it's 2,000.
Right.
So am I buying in on Blake Griffin at 2,000? Probably not. But the reality is I think that he's a great sell if you already invested into him. You could have bought into the hype or buy into the inflation, assuming that, you had the foresight. Like I was telling, before when the season started, I was buying Chris Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Remember in the first show, I said, Chris Paul. And
Yeah.
people was like, if you go back to the first show of this year, I said Chris Paul.
Yeah, I remember.
And everybody was like, no.
You already know what I felt about Chris Paul, man.
It don't matter. He's point guard now. They call him point guard. He's point guard. You know what that is? 10,000 assists. He's point guard. So I look at it like, you just have to have the foresight. We talked about Russell Westbrook. I'm not going to lie. Kobe Collector actually was a reason why I decided to get into I decided to get Russell Westbrook. And actually, I'm going to address what Jeff just said. You guys buying soccer, Mbappe or Haaland, they are studs. I totally agree. But the problem is they're already inflated. Yeah. So you guess what I'm buying? If you haven't paid attention to my Instagram feed, I started buying Prism Soccer, the people that nobody's talking about, to trying to figure out who the next Mbappe and Haaland is. And it's the Greenwoods, it's the Sakas, it's the Ollie's, it's the Billy Gilmores, it's the you got to figure out who these next Mbappes are, because the reality is yes, I can buy a PSA 10 Mbappe for $2,000, or I can buy 100 Sakas for $20 a piece.
Right. even the GOATs like Messi and Ronaldo, like they're up there, but like you could still even get their rookies not that high, you know. And then you compare it to other GOATs. I mean, soccer is a worldwide sport. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I agree.
Cards are significantly cheaper than LeBron. You know, like
I agree,
and I get it. It's soccer, but it's like once that market starts to gain some traction, Messi and Ronaldo are the two guys who are going to skyrocket. You know,
I agree.
And I mean, they're already solidified. You know, so it's like, so I kind of been on a few Messis, and because I think that's like, I mean,
I definitely think I agree with you. Soccer is definitely about Jeff. I definitely think soccer. I'm learning more about soccer, so it's one of those things where it's like, but you know what though? What's crazy is we're all new to it and we're still trying to learn it, and I think that's a good thing because that's saying that soccer is going to translate in a hobby on a bigger level than what's going on right now. So I mean, so I honestly,
what appeals to me more than that though is that the entry point is a lot cheaper though.
Oh,
it's $600 for a box of Prizm soccer.
Oh
right
yeah,
now.
I can buy a case all day.
I've opened up more Prizm soccer than I did any other hobby product in any sport. Right, I did like 9 boxes at the Dallas show, just a Prizm soccer. Right, but I tell you what, it's like being a kid again, right? Where the price point isn't too high, where you're not going to lose your ass, and if you do, it's $600 that you're losing, right? It's not $2,000. If you go out and you skunk on a Prizm basketball for $2,000, you're going to feel that. I mean, I'm not saying that you're not going to feel $600, but if you skunk on a Prizm box for $2,000, it's going to hurt a little bit. And so for $600. There's so many people in these boxes, right? And PSA going down is going to hurt them soccer boxes for a little bit, but it's okay because that was a long-term investment, right? The Prizm soccer isn't going to realize for another 6 to 8 months anyway when the World Cup comes around, you know? So for me, it was such a great investment because there's so many people in there that are recognized across the world. Now, I might not know who the hell they are, right? But when you pull out a guy, you're looking at a Christian Pulisic, right? And I'm like, who the hell is this guy? And you look up on eBay, right? And his cards sell for $15 to $20 for a base card, right? And then, you know, the wheels start turning. You know, when PSA was up and running, the wheels start turning. Then you can turn that $20, you know, the $20 base card into a $200, you know, base card because it's a PSA 10, right? Now, off of that $600 box, I just made $2,000-$3,000 off of $600. Now it starts to become more sense. So it goes back to PSA, them going down, what it's going to do to the hobby, man, because it's going to stretch some people's money way out, man, way out.
Well, I mean, if you're buying anybody that you have to invest in, just it goes back to what we say all the time: is knowing your lane. If you have the lane, so Roth, right? You wouldn't take. You said out of your mouth earlier, you would not take the $2,500 on the back end. I would.
Yeah.
It's money's.
If I think about it that way, I would.
There's only one way to think about it. You like money?
It is. I mean, if it's in the back end and you forget about it, cool. But okay, put it this way: if you only had $2,500, then would you do it?
It's a different lane.
Right,
it's a different lane.
Some people only have $2,500, so then it's like
correct.
So it's a different lane, right? So you're right. It depends on your lane. It depends how much money you got. If you only got $2,500, then maybe you do 10, and then you still got X amount to still flip because it is smart. You want to have some that are just churning in the back, and then you want some that you're just constantly flipping, getting that cash flow, building that snowball. Meanwhile, in the back of your head, you're like, oh shoot, I still got 50 NBA hoops cards that I sent. Back in for a bulk submission that are going up by the day, So yeah, you want both, but if you only got 2,500, then it's like, dang,
So all right, so I'll give you a prime example, and this is my lane that I'm in. Okay, this is my world I live in, right? I might spend $30,000, $40,000 on a whole lot. In that lot, I might have 50 cards worth $20. You know what I'm saying? I can grade later on. I forget about them. Hey, Mark, I'm sending this out to grade. I'll get it back in a year, whatever. You know what I'm saying? First of all, my logic of thinking is different because I usually think like, all right, I would never buy anybody that I feel like is not going to go up in value within a year. So just because it's $20 today does not mean it will be $20 next year. It can be $20 today and be $100 next year. So it's kind of like and that's raw. So I'm already up 5 times. So that I always use as an example was the Zion thing that happened last year. I paid $30 for the cards. By the time I sold them, it was anywhere from 500 to 1,000 or more. I bought Prism last year. I don't know when you started, but last year.
Right after Prism when I started.
So Zion base cards came out at $200 a card, but they dropped as low as $30 to $40 because he was not playing.
Right.
I read into that a little bit, like, okay, well, he has to go up, right? Because he's gonna play. I didn't know the multipliers would be on the level that they got to.
Right.
But it just worked out in my favor because I bought smart. Now, in hindsight, if I would have bought even smarter, I could have bought Ja Morant because he was like $5. he was like $10. He was like $10. Was he like? I mean, I think he was around $5 to $10. Was he around $5 to $10? So
I'm picking him up for $15 a piece.
So you could have bought Ja Morant for $10 to $15 a piece raw. And like that's not. And think about this now. You didn't even have to grade them. You could have just put them in a box, forgot about them, and waited till they're 150. Because peak they were like $250 raw.
Right.
200. Yeah.
Yeah. So like you think about this now. You could have put them in your back pocket. Think about this. You probably blow $5,000 on something now in the new lane you're in, and just get $25,000 on the back end, knowing, hey, it's going to come back later on this year because you can make up that money now faster. You can spend $5,000 on something else and make $10,000, and now that $5,000 you got on the back end is just free money waiting on you, free equity waiting on you on the back end. So that's just some game, just some different ways of thinking and the different lanes that we kind of are talking about. And I think it's good because, like I said, you coming into the I'm gonna say the league. You coming into the league, you know what I'm saying? You was an average. You came in like, how am I gonna figure this out? To now you're on a different level. I see you making moves all the time.
Yeah.
Your post going from $100 cards to $200 cards to $20,000 cards.
Right.
Like I hit you up one day. I was like, hope you was gonna say a low number. Like, yeah, man, I need 8. Like, yeah, I need 18,000. Damn. I thought he was gonna say 5 or 6.
People ask me that all the time, though, man. You're like, man, you don't want to get them cards back from PSA quicker, right? I was like, well, I mean, here goes the thing, right? And my scenario was Kobe, right? I was grading a lot of Kobe rookie cards. So I was buying those things for 15, 20, 25 bucks at the time, right? And I was grading them. And I did a bulk sub, didn't get them back for 8 months, right? And I wish I wouldn't have got them back for like 16 months now. Right. But when I got them back, they were all-time highs, right? All-time highs. I turned $12 Kobe Bryant rookie cards into $600-700, right? Mm-hmm. So for me, and I had like 20 of them, right? So for me, the longer that they stayed in there, the more money that I made.
Right.
The more money that I made. And I tell people all the time, you can be in a rush. You can contact me every day about your sub to see when it's going to pop out. But the reality of it, you submitted good stuff. So good stuff is always going to go up. Okay. Mm-hmm. And the longer that it's in there, the longer that it's going to gain interest. Right. And I just say it's collecting interest while it's at PSA. Right. Yep. So when my Kobe tops came out, I sold it for the highest ever recorded. It was $2,100 for a PSA 10 tops, regular tops Kobe rookie card, right? Now then they went down, they went back up, they went down, and now they're doing about $5,000-6,000, right, for PSA 10 rookie cards, right? Yep. So if I would have got them back right now, the 6 that I had,
right,
I could have sold them for $5,000. But instead, right, I was like $2,100. I have $50 into the card. Why not sell it for $2,100 and not look backwards, right? So to me, I'd rather than things stay in there for as long as they want to stay in there, because you know what? That's money in the bank. And when I come back out, it's either going to be at an all-time high, or if it waits a little longer, it's going to be at a new all-time high. And the way that the hobby is going, there's always new all-time highs hitting every day. Look at the Jordan. Absolutely. The Jordan went from $350,000 to $700,000 in the course of 2 months. Right? Now, I don't know how long it's going to take for it to get to $1 million, that Jordan rookie card, but it's going to get there. I think before the end of the year, this year is going to get there.
So when do you sell?
See, that's always a tricky question. How much do you got into it? Now, I mean, that's a question I always ask. Right. How much do you got into it? What are you going to be comfortable doing? I always believe in the circle of life in this game, right? Paying it forward. So let somebody else make their money if you made your money already, because you know what?
What's up,
Sometimes
E?
you can make more money off of that profit that you made off of that card than
Right.
if you would if you waited 6 months to
Exactly.
realize that fullest potential.
Right.
Right. So, yeah, he's absolutely right. I was gonna say
There's
something.
some
Hey,
there's
what's
some
up,
gems
E?
there, man. There's some gems
Hey,
there, man.
hey, exactly. So I don't know. I guess did I hit a Cole Anthony Air today? Yes, I did. I hit a couple of them. I'm actually selling. For the record, I'm selling all my rookies. I'm probably gonna post them on my IG. All the stuff I'm selling from my Prism boxes from earlier. I'm probably going to. I'm holding three different. Well, 3 or 4 different rookies. I'm selling everybody else. I'm holding my LeBron James silver, I guess, or am I selling it? I'm probably gonna send it to the BGS first and shoot my shot. I'll shoot my shot at BGS and just try see what happens.
I
Um,
like that. I didn't know you pulled the I think his name is Kenyon Martin Jr. He
yeah, I
plays for
heard
the
he's good.
Rockets. He's
Yeah, I heard he's
pretty
good.
good, man. He got some hops. He got some hops, and he blocks. He
Yeah.
plays defense. I know you like two-way athletic players, Rob. Don't sleep on that dude, man. He's pretty good.
I think I
Even the
pulled a
t-
purple. I think I
even
pulled a
the
purple.
Tate even the Tate kid from Houston is pretty good. The Jerry Tate kid, he's
Are you
actually pretty good from Houston.
are you speaking as a homer or are you speaking like
You know,
something
I
about
got to give you Homer
basketball?
talk. Look at what happened to KBJ. I was paying KBJ for $50 because he came over to the Rockets. He played one he played one
Everybody's
game
leaving.
and
Am
it
I
went
am I
up to
giving
200.
this? Am I giving this away still today, or am I going to wait till next week? I mean, I was going to give it away, but I don't know. Does anybody on here want it? Does anybody want this card? I'm just curious. Anybody on the feed, Instagram, Facebook? Does anybody want it? I'm just curious.
Who
I mean, I
wants
don't mind giving it away. Who wants the card? Does anybody want the card? Say something. Somebody say, do they want this card? Okay. All right. So in about 5 minutes, right, we're going to ask a question. And whoever answers the question correctly will get this card, right?
That Prism God trivia, man. There you go with that
Hey,
shit again.
hey, I can't make it that easy. I said I'm going to give it away. I mean, how much I want it. I'm not selling it to you, Jeff. I'm going to give it away. I'm giving it to you here, right? So, in about 5 minutes, because we're literally right at around an hour right now, and I know I don't want to keep RothCards on the phone, and I mean we'll keep him talking to us. I know he likes talking
I
to
love
us.
talking.
All right, so and then Kobe Collector, I know he's the same way. He's a little dehydrated. All right, so so we got 9 people in the view right now, and you guys are lucky because you're still here. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us.
But we gave out some gems today, though, man. So if they made it all the way through
Yes,
the show, we gave
Yep.
out a lot of gems, man.
yes,
And it always goes
yes,
back to say that there's no one way to do this hobby, right? Now,
yes.
there's going to be a lot of people hurt with this PSA stuff, but I'm interested to see how people pivot. I mean, I want to see in the next 3 months what happens to breakers, right? Because breakers are really invested into this hobby, and a lot of it is because people are breaking to pull cards to grade, right? So it's going to be
Yeah.
interesting to see what happens with the hobby in the next 3 months. It's going to be interesting to see what happens at the card shows because of it, right?
Yeah,
Are you going to pull out dollar boxes now? Are you going to see hundreds and hundreds of people going through dollar boxes now because of it? It's going to be interesting to see. You know, we got a couple big shows coming up,
yeah.
and you know, I'm going to have a keen eye on that to see what's going to
Yeah.
happen.
Yep, for the people that are listening too, I've got a show coming in July. New announcement. I'll be doing a show in July in Atlanta. So we're going to do an Atlanta show. It's going to be over 300 tables. Just put it out there for you guys. I'll talk a little bit more about it next week. I'll continue giving you week-to-week information. I'm probably going to do a giveaway next week. So it'll be a better giveaway than just be giving you a card. It'll probably be giving out some packs of Prism. I'll be doing it for the rest of the month.
Let's get it.
Yeah. So what else we need to cover? We covered everything. We good? We out here?
Last thing I want to cover. Do you think that this hold by PSA was, one, because of Prism coming out this week, and two, because of how many 30-year Lucas they would have saw? Because I feel like that really is something that they had to do. Like, they knew that it was coming.
Prism.
There's
Prism.
no
Prism.
way.
Prism.
Out.
There's no way, man.
They were about to get so much 4th-year Tatum, 30-year Luca, 30-year Trey. I mean, people just would have sent them in. You know what I mean? And like that, like you said, you get them for $5, and then if PSA 10, maybe it's $100.
But
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes that's the only way to make your money back on boxes, though. I mean, that's the one thing. I mean, I opened up so much Topps update looking for Acunas and Sotos, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And for me, they were $800 a box. So how am I gonna get $800 a box if I don't pull those guys, right? And I mean, you had to pull one of each, and they had to be clean. So how am I gonna make my money back now? So I mean, grading was the easiest way to at least marginalize it, so that you're not, eating water
Right.
the whole way, man.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
go ahead, man. Let's see. What can I answer the question?
Go ahead. What are
Can
you
I
talking
answer
about?
the question to get that LeBron, man? I got
You
all
want
the
to?
answers to all your trivia questions, man.
What? Are you serious? All right. So, are we ready for this? All right. So, I don't even
Kevin
know what's.
Knox,
All right.
11
So,
Hawks.
yeah. So, all right. So, as you guys know, if anybody follows the Chicago show in June is canceled. So, we will be in Houston, June, right? So, I already got the table for us. So, we're good. Yeah. So, we're good on that. The Nationals is late July, August. I don't know if that's canceled.
No,
Huey,
that's
I think it's just no Nationals canceled. It's just the Chicago show and the next. I forgot it was in June. I think right June.
Yep.
It's coming up soon,
It was like
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, June 13th, I think, or something like that. I got my ticket, so we will be there set up. Roth, you need to get you a table. It's a dope show. That's where I actually met Kobe Collector. It'll be our anniversary.
Oh, heck yeah.
Hey, you better
Anniversary show.
bring me some flowers and some chocolates.
There you go. All right, so where am I gonna go with this? I don't know. What's a good question to ask for the LeBron James? All right, here we go. All right.
Where did Raphael meet
No.
RothCards for the first time? Come on. All right, go ahead, man. I know the answer to it, man. I love the card.
At what show did I meet RothCards? If you've been paying attention, at what show did I meet RothCards? Let's see if anybody knows. If anybody been, let's see. First person that says it wins. No, Gene, is not correct. Hickory, no. David Kahana, I need you to. Actually, well, I said state, right?
Yeah, you said state.
Oh, I said show. I didn't say. No, I said what show. All right, so David. All right, so it was a show in Florida, but what show was it? Did we say what? I think you said what show it was, didn't you?
Yep,
Yes, you did. You absolutely did. All right, so David, you're the closest. Huey P. Tampa show. Is that correct?
No.
No, it is. You're close, but no cigar. David, Tampa. No, it was not. It's not the Orlando show. That's not the name of the show.
No.
David is not the name of the show. Orlando, that's not the show. Sorry, guys. Hey, David Kahana just hit it. David Kahana, congratulations. You are the new owner of the LeBron James dedication dunk. I mean, Prism. Congratulations. David Kahana. Feel free to send me a PM on Instagram. Congratulations. I'll tag you to it. Congratulations. It was the Clearwater show where I met RothCards. It was last year. That's the first time I ever met this guy. That's crazy. He's been here I guess he listens to the whole show. I mean, he deserves it, right?
Nice. Yeah, heck yeah.
Hey, let's get it. That's how you do it, right? Can I get it?
I talk about those orders finally getting entered in. Your crossover LeBron
Congrats,
James
David.
card has finally entered into the system, man. That was a 5-day. It's a 5-day order that's taken 2 months by PSA. So there's a reason why they did it, but it's taken 2 months to get entered into the system, and it finally got entered in today. So hopefully it crosses over to a PSA 10 for you. Make you 12,000 real quick.
Let's get it.
The PSA 10s, I'll be extremely happy. It was a quad 9.5. Actually, it was crazy. All right, so here's the crazy part about that deal. Now, Roth, I would be upset, but me knowing my lane, right? I paid $6,000 for both that card and the Bowman Chrome 9.5. I sold the Bowman Chrome 9.5 for $6K. I'm into this card. How much money?
Free.
Exactly. So can I afford to wait on it?
Exactly. Just keep chilling. Good.
Hey, so I mean, we like to give game, man. We like to educate new people in the hobby on what's going on. So I'm really excited about Roth, man, about what you're about to do. I expect you to have a T-shirt that says "Let's get it," and I'll wear it. I know you. I definitely. You've been kind of like the cover boy, man, for PrizmGawds hoodies, man. And like everybody's like, man, that's the model, man. That's the model. I have to bring the model. I have to call this guy the model.
Let's get it. No, you're right. That's my shirt. Let's get it.
Yeah, I need it, man. So I appreciate you guys checking in with us. Feel free to check us out next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Don't be a stranger. RothCards is real cool to talk to. You know, I am pretty much. I'll talk to anybody.
Boogie, man.
Yeah, so we really appreciate you guys coming to check us out. Next week we're gonna do another giveaway. I'm doing a giveaway all month long, man. It's Prizm Day. Let's go. So next week it'll probably be. I can't even tell you. I don't want to say yet, but just look for the tag. I appreciate you guys checking us out. Appreciate you breaking bangers. Appreciate you, David, JB, John, David. Let's see. I'm sorry, Kobe, Huey P, aka Sky. He had another name. He needs to be up in here with his real name. You remember Sky? He shared the table with us in Dallas. And I guess everybody else that's out there. Miss PrizmGawds, she was supposed to join us and open this box with us. Actually, by the way, I pulled 3 cards out of that Prizm box. I pulled the base LeBron. I pulled Anthony Edwards. I pulled LaMelo, and I pulled Tyrese Halliburton. Now, what's funny is I have not pulled any more James Wiseman. That's crazy, right? I haven't pulled one James Wiseman base. So, but y'all ready? That's it? Y'all good?
Ready.
I just talked all that time. Huh?
Kobe just ended at 5,800. It's starting to see his trend. But one hit yesterday at 7,000. So I think people are starting to kind of make you kind of go up. You know how just how the hobby is. You see one go high, and then you kind of start to bid high. And so I guess we about to see how this Kobe and LeBron trend up. Here we go.
That's it. Well, congratulations again, man, on your success. I ain't trying to cut you off. If you want to talk, man, I'm on here. You want to talk? You want to talk a little bit more? I mean, you sound like you got some more you want to say. I already gave away the card.
I'm good. I'm gonna save it.
Save it. All right. Well, appreciate you again. Maybe we'll have you on a next show or another show, man. And again, wish you much success. And it was really fun having you on here, man. I appreciate your energy, bro.
Thank you for having me. I'm dropping a vlog this week about the Tampa show. Make sure y'all check that out. It'll be on YouTube in my bio. So check me out at RothCards. And DM me and feel free to talk. And let's talk sports cards. And I'll be back soon.
Yeah, man. Congratulations. Yeah, man. I'll see you at the next show. I don't know what show I'll be at. I think are you going to Raleigh this weekend?
Yep. I'll be in Raleigh.
All right. So I got to figure out if I want to go or not.
And then after that, bro, the lineup for May is going to be nuts, though. We got Miami first week. Second week, we got Clearwater.
I'm there.
Third week, we got Vegas. Fourth week, we got Dallas.
Next week, Chantilly, though.
Yeah. Chantilly, I feel like I'd rather hit Miami. I want to see Miami.
No, but no. Well, no, Miami's no. It's supposed to be Clearwater next because Clearwater is the same way as Chantilly because I told him I wasn't going to set up.
They moved Chantilly. Chantilly got pushed back to May 1.
Hold on.
Yep.
All right.
With it.
Wow.
Yeah, funny, man.
Man.
The travel guides.
The Prizm guides. And it's like, guides over here. I've realized that going to these shows is you could only hit shows. Like you could never sell on eBay, never sell on Facebook, only sell and buy at shows, and you'd be 100% good. What you buy at one show, you go to the next show. I mean, and it's like if you're constantly moving like that, you're gonna constantly get new product, constantly flip, constantly. I mean, you could literally and that's how you do sports cards full time. Like if you're just in the same city, in the same area, and you're not really reaching out, you're not really going to do new places or traveling. Like it's gonna be harder to get new stuff. It's gonna be harder to meet new people. But if you are on the go and you're just hitting new cities and meeting new people, it's gonna be. I mean, you'll be surprised at the new people you meet and what kind of cards you can grab and sell. And so definitely, if you've never been to a show and you're watching this, I encourage you to find a show and go. It's very worth it.
Yes, it is definitely worth it. I just want to congratulate David again. Tagging him. You said what? You don't have to pay what?
You don't have to pay eBay taxes.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, wow.
Now, I don't even sell on eBay. I sell strictly on Facebook and shows. That's it.
Yeah, well, sometimes you got to bite the bullet if you want to get the most money.
No, facts. You're right.
Yeah, but you get hit with that. You get hit over the head, and you got to wait 3 weeks for your money. with the
Yeah.
new payment processor that they got. But it's
Yeah.
cool,
Man.
man. Hey, look, it's been a blessing, man. My throat's already getting to me, man. I'm not all the way cured and recovered from COVID, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and tap out. But it's been a
Thank you,
blessing.
guys.
You guys have shout out to everybody that zoned in and spend an hour of your day with us. We really do appreciate it, and looking forward to next week. Maybe I'll have my mic. Maybe Raphael will send me my mic my next week.
I've been trying to send you a mic. You have nothing to plug it up to. I'm just kidding. I will look. Check it out, E. I appreciate you checking us out too as well, and we'll tell you guys about the show. I have an update on the show next week, next Wednesday. As we continue to get closer towards the show, I'm going to talk more and more about it, about the vendors, the people who are going to be setting up for the show. I'm going to talk to you about all the different things, but expect a fun show. I'm not going to half-ass on this show. The show is going to be the shit. I promise you. I'm not going to play with the show in Atlanta. And if you know me, if you know how I get out on cards, I'm not going to play with this show. Trust me.
Facts.
So this is gonna be a lot of fun, and I'm expecting a lot of people to be there. Roth's gonna be there. He better be there.
Yep, I'll be there. Let's get it.
All right. So look, we'll catch up with you guys next week, same time, 8 p.m. Right?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Take it easy, Roth. You have a good night, and you too, Kobe Collector, and everybody. We appreciate you. Thank you. I need to have an outro music. You think?
No, you need it.